Hello there guys, and welcome to another edition of the channel, where today we continue the Infinite series. Previously, we talked about issue number 1 of A New Hope, Infinite Comics, where Luke failed to destroy the Death Star, and in the aftermath, Han and Luke escaped through light speed, and Leia was now captured by the Empire. Han came out of hyperspace, but now Chewbacca was asking questions. Where was Luke? He was nowhere to be found. In his radars at that moment, Han had something. It was actually Luke Skywalker himself. However, the X-Wing was now done. Everything on the fighter was down, and what's worse, R2 had been hit. He informs Han that he will come aboard the Millennium Falcon. As soon as they're back together, Luke immediately starts advising a plan as to how they can attack the Death Star once again. Han was amused. The only mission we have now is to stay alive. He will not risk his life again. The rebellion was done. Luke was adamant. A lot of good people died fighting there. Ben Kenobi, the princess. But Han didn't want their names to be added to the list. He was retired from the hero business. This conversation should not be funny in the least. Han pushes Luke to the ground, thinking that he would calm him down. He said that he knows that Luke was upset. When Luke heard that word, it just fired something off inside him. He rushed at Han and grabbed him by the waist as Han punched him square in the face. He told Luke immediately to stop it, that he's not in the mood. Luke's anger again had taken over. He pulled out his lightsaber and ignited it. Oh, they haven't even started. Right in the nick of time, Ben Kenobi appears as a Force ghost. Luke just stands there, amazed. Ben told him to not give in to his anger, that his training is incomplete. To complete it, he needs to go to the Dagobah system and find none other than Yoda, the Jedi Master. With that, Ben goes on to disappear. Afterwards, Luke goes on to apologize to Han Solo and asked him for his help. Dagobah was their next location. The Death Star had approached the capital of the galaxy, the capital of the Empire, the planet Coruscant. Today, however, Vader had a new prisoner. It was Princess Leia. As they journeyed through the skylines of Coruscant, they arrived at the Imperial residence, the former hole of the Jedi Council. Inside, it was the Emperor. The presence of Leia reminded him of Alderaan, a lovely world in its day. Leia immediately responded, not so lovely that you didn't hesitate for a second to order its destruction and the murder of its people. Well, there was that, but Palpatine's vision was not clouded by sentiment. Everything had proceeded as he has foreseen. Leia foresaw that they would execute them, but not the Emperor himself. No, responded the Emperor, you will be taken care of. You will be housed and fed, and everything. Perhaps I'm not without sentiment after all. Now the royal guards took Leia away. They took Leia to obedience training. Palpatine senses a disturbance in Vader. Indeed, Vader does, but the source is unclear. But Palpatine, as usual, was overconfident. Any such disturbance is rendered meaningless now. The rebellion was gone. What he should focus on is if the princess has much more value to them now. Their greatest triumph is yet to come. Meanwhile, the Millennium Falcon approached Dagobah, the garden spot of the galaxy according to Han, but without the garden. Now they started slowly landing their ship. R2 was all fixed up. They all went down below into the terrain. They started searching for this mysterious Jedi Master, for Yoda. Suddenly they hear someone say, "Who is it that you wish to find?" It was a mysterious green creature, a small one at that. Luke told the little fella that they were a little busy. They had no time, but Yoda was still inquisitive, asking questions left and right. He then offered to help. He then offered his home and to rest and eat. They will then find their friend. Luke was now persistent. He told him again and again that he is called Yoda. He is a Jedi Master. The green creature appeared shocked. Jedi? There were no Jedi here on Dagobah. Now Luke was done. They're wasting their time here. He doesn't know anything. As he was telling Han, Han smirked and simply told Luke that he is playing you, pal. You don't get it? Luke, this is Yoda. Luke suddenly stood up and hit his head on the roof. How did Han know this? Well, in Han's mind, it takes a con man to know one. The voice of Ben Kenobi also confirmed to Luke that he is in fact Yoda. With the secret now out, Yoda told him that time was short and grave. The situation is, he had already taken steps into the dark path. If they don't complete his training, then a serpent of evil Luke will become. Meanwhile, Leia was living comfortably in her own quarters. Vader now approached, telling Leia that she has more choices than she actually realizes. He had actually brought her a gift. It was 3PO. Leia was very pleased to see 3PO again, but immediately after the encounter, Vader ordered them to take him back because the princess and him had something to discuss. At that moment, he pulled out Ben Kenobi's lightsaber. This was Obi-Wan's, a weapon of a Jedi. He was giving it to her, just to see what she does. She gripped the lightsaber. Leia ignited the blue lightsaber with a single tear dropping down her cheek. She immediately went for Vader, but Vader had ignited his lightsaber as well and blocked her strike. That's it. Again, release your anger. Your anger makes you powerful. As Leia slashes at Vader's lightsaber again and again, losing complete control. Powerful, said Vader, but not ready. Through the Force, he pulled the lightsaber out of her hands as she had felt it. The anger, the voice inside, breathing strength into her spirit. You have no idea what you can become. Leia. With time, Vader hoped that she would learn. Luke was now profusely training with Yoda, and the Green Jedi was cautioning him about the dark side. Every single aspect should be covered for him to know the dangers of this path. They had in fact been there for now 2 months. Han and Chewie were finally able to somewhat fix the Millennium Falcon. Before they left, Han tried to convince Luke to come with him, that they make a pretty good team, but Yoda advised them to the opposite. His destiny is here. Grown has his power, but he is not at peace. After talking to Yoda and Ben Kenobi's spirit, Luke in the end chooses to stay, to complete his training. Maybe one day in the future, he would need his help, but not right now. Before leaving, Han turned to Luke and said, "May the Force be with you," and that he can't believe he said that. It took everything for Luke to not go with him. That Yoda was proud at this moment, that this was your first victory over the dark side, but he has many such battles to overcome in the future. Now he shall continue his training. Meanwhile, on Coruscant, it was a lovely day according to 3PO, and Leia was starting to feel comfortable as well. Suddenly, Vader appeared and told 3PO to leave them at once. Now it was time to convince Leia once and for all. Throughout his life, Vader had never known peace. The Emperor is slowly dying. A new age is drawing near for the galaxy. Leia could be a part of this new age. As he once had told her, she has many choices. Luke had felt it, a cold feeling, a feeling of death. That cave was strong in the dark side of the Force. A domain of evil it was. He must enter it now if he was to complete his trial. He went against Yoda's advice. He took the weapons and went inside the cave. Once inside, Vader appeared. He ignited his blue lightsaber and started clashing with Vader. In a sudden maneuver, Luke hit Vader in the helmet, slicing it right off. Rolling down to the ground was now Vader's helmet. Inside, it was Leia. Now things start heating up, my friends. This is the end for issue number 2, and next we will continue with issue number 3 as well, which I can't wait to show you guys. It's quite fantastic. And thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this particular issue and the previous one that we saw. Let's discuss these two issues. Thank you again for stopping by. Thank you for watching this video and supporting the channel. And before you go, may the Force be with you always.